Welcome to ZoomInData, your trusted channel for data and analytics interview preparation. In this video, we explore 25 important interview questions on OneLake data organization, explained with very detailed, interview-oriented answers in a structured and easy-to-follow format. This session is ideal for data engineers, BI developers, data architects, and freshers preparing for Microsoft Fabric interviews. 1. How is data organized in OneLake? OneLake organizes data using a hierarchical structure: tenant right pointing arrow, workspace right pointing arrow, item right pointing arrow, folder right pointing arrow, file. Each workspace acts as a logical container for related datasets. Data is grouped by business domains and project ownership. This organization simplifies management, security, and governance. 2. What is the folder structure in OneLake? Each workspace has its own root folder. Inside workspaces, data is organized by item types such as Lakehouse, warehouse, and KQL databases. Folders separate raw, processed, and curated datasets. This clear structure supports efficient data management. 3. How does OneLake organize data by workspace? Every workspace maps to a distinct directory in OneLake. All data related to that workspace resides inside its directory. Access control is applied at the workspace level. This structure ensures isolation and security between projects. 4. How does OneLake separate data by domain? Domains are represented by separate workspaces. Each domain controls its own data lifecycle and governance. Naming conventions reflect business ownership. This approach improves accountability and data stewardship. 5. How does OneLake manage file systems? OneLake uses a virtualized file system on top of cloud storage. It abstracts underlying physical storage from users. File operations are optimized for analytics workloads. This design enables scalability and reliability. 6. How does OneLake support multiple file formats? Supports open formats like Delta, Parquet, CSV, and JSON. Allows different workloads to choose optimal formats. Ensures compatibility across analytics tools. Improves flexibility in data processing. 7. How does OneLake manage dataset naming conventions? Organizations define standard naming policies. Names reflect domain, subject area, and purpose. Consistent naming improves discoverability, supports governance and cataloging. 8. How does OneLake handle versioning? Delta Lake enables versioned data storage. Previous versions remain accessible. Supports rollback and auditing. Enhances data reliability. 9. How does OneLake track data lineage? Lineage is automatically captured by the platform. Tracks data movement across workloads. Visualized through governance tools. Improves transparency and trust. 10. How does OneLake handle data ownership? Each dataset has defined owners and stewards. Ownership is tied to workspace roles. Responsibilities are clearly documented. Supports accountability and governance. 11. How does OneLake manage data retention? Retention policies define data lifecycle rules. Old data can be archived or deleted. Supports regulatory compliance. Optimizes storage usage. 12. How does OneLake enable access control? Uses role-based access control. Permissions apply consistently across workloads. Integrated with identity services. Ensures secure data access. 13. How does OneLake organize curated datasets? Curated datasets are stored in designated folders. They represent validated and business-ready data. Access is typically restricted to analysts and business users. Improves data quality and trust. 14. How does OneLake support raw versus processed data zones? Raw zone stores ingested data. Processed zone contains transformed data. Curated zone holds analytics-ready datasets. This layered design supports the medallion architecture. 15. How does OneLake optimize data retrieval? Uses columnar storage formats. Implements caching and indexing. Reduces unnecessary data scans. Delivers high-performance analytics. 16. How does OneLake support incremental data storage? Only new or changed data is written. Delta Lake handles merge and update operations. Reduces processing time and cost. Supports efficient pipeline execution. 17. How does OneLake handle temporary data? Temporary data is stored in dedicated working folders. Cleanup policies remove outdated temporary files. Prevents clutter and wasted storage. Maintains organized data environment. 18. How does OneLake manage storage growth? Automatically scales storage capacity. Supports tiered storage strategies. Archiving policies control growth. Maintains performance with increasing volume. 19. How does OneLake enforce governance policies? Governance rules are applied centrally. Policies control access, retention, and classification. Automated monitoring ensures compliance. Supports enterprise data governance frameworks. 20. How does OneLake organize analytical data? Analytical datasets are placed in curated zones. Structured for reporting and analytics tools. Optimized for query performance. Ensures consistent business metrics. 21. How does OneLake handle data archiving? Older data is moved to archive storage. Archiving policies are automated. Archived data remains accessible if needed. Reduces storage cost. 22. How does OneLake support multi-region storage? Supports geo-redundant storage. Data is replicated across regions. Improves availability and disaster recovery. Supports global enterprise operations. 23. How does OneLake support data classification? Datasets are labeled based on sensitivity and usage. Classification integrates with governance tools. Supports compliance and security policies. Improves data management practices. 24. How does OneLake manage cross-project data? Uses shortcuts for cross-workspace access. Avoids duplicate data storage. Maintains original security policies. Enables collaborative analytics. 25. What are best practices for OneLake organization? Organize by business domain and project. Enforce strong naming conventions. Use layered data zones. Raw, processed, curated. Apply consistent governance and monitoring. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe and save for your interview preparation. If you want more questions on real-time projects, contact ZoomInData.